I just wanted waivers once again. Just want to go back to the waivers. So when somebody's going to be placed in foster care, child's going to be placed in foster care, and an individual has a criminal conviction on their record, who determines, in order for that placement to happen, a waiver would have to be signed, right? Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And who determines whether or not a waiver is necessary today?
Whether it's necessary.
Yes.
The area offices, as they do the background checks of those who come forward, and if they find in the background that there's a child protection history or a criminal history of a person's come forward, they then make the determination, do they want to send this candidate up for a waiver approval or move on to the next candidate?
So it was so someone at DCF pulls the criminal history, reviews that, and makes a determination whether or not that conviction and or convictions disqualify that individual from foster care placement. Is that fair to say?
That is correct.
And is that a supervisor? Or is that what?
Well, I think it could be the social worker on the case, the supervisor on the case, or the manager. I mean, the fact is that when a candidate comes forth, we have the mechanisms to immediately do the criminal background check to see if there is a local estate police history on a person and know exactly what that is based on what shows. If it shows a significant, or disqualifying criminal history, they then know right at that moment, there's no need to even pursue this person.
So if that particular individual has the ability to say a waiver is necessary, they also have the ability to say a waiver is not necessary. That's fair to say?
Well, they will know that they can't put the child there unless there's a waiver, and then they would have to make the determination later on, if that's a placement that they really think the child should be, to send that up the chain for an approval of that, which they probably know won't get approved. But the point is, they have that information at their fingertips immediately, and it's disqualifying criminal history that they cannot just say, oh, here's the history, I'm going to make the placement anyway.
Okay, so I still don't understand what I said was wrong. I assume it was not, that a social worker who reviews a criminal history has the ability to say a waiver is not necessary. Fair to say, right? So what do they look at to determine, in conjunction with the criminal history, a disqualifying conviction? Where's that list?
It's listed in the regulations. I don't know them.
That's right.
Yeah.
17A 145 152.
Well,
Can you give me any statutory listing or any crime that is specifically listed in the regulation disqualifying any individual?
sure.
You can't, because there are none. There is not one. This list is wholly subjective. So by way of it says a person has been convicted of impairing the morals of a minor or other similar offenses against a minor. That's subjective. Person who's been convicted of possession, use, sale of controlled substances within the last 5 years. That's pretty specific. Illegal use of a firearm or other similar offenses. So for instance, 5380A is the manufacturer of bombs. So he's been convicted of manufacture of bomb. Is it similar enough to a firearm conviction so as to disqualify this individual?
It could. I mean,
It could be, yes.
Yeah.
And if we asked everyone in this room their opinion, I'm going to almost guarantee you that at least 20% are going to say, no, it's not a gun, it's a bomb. So how? This is present law today. This is the determination of waivers. There is not one statutory reference in the regulation. I'll give you a copy.
please. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure there is, but
I just, I sit on regs review. I look forward to Attorney General's office perhaps suggesting a list. I think it would be helpful going forward. Because what we have here is still subjectivity, and I'm looking to protect kids. So certainly somebody who makes a determination that manufacturing bonds is not a disqualifying conviction and something bad happens,